Do you really want me to talk about Nick Fuentes and Destiny Darkstrail? Really? Is that what you want me to talk about? Is it? Actually, what do you want me to talk about? Two curse for me, okay? I watched it. I watched it against my better judgment. Only a few seconds, but it was more than enough for me. Anyway, let's not talk about that for now, okay? Let's not talk about that for now. And instead I'll ask Lurkers, how have you all been? How have you all been for the past few weeks when I was away? Kyle, shut up. I don't want to hear about it. Pretty fine, quite well. Malnourished. Why are you malnourished? Delusional. Why are you malnourished? Mercurius, I am still away, per se. I have been nothing but busy for the last few weeks, and I still am. But I managed to scrape some time to make a casual stream. I hope just to have a chat, have some relaxing time with the Lurkers here. Anyway, American Lurkers, how was your Thanksgiving? Huh? How was your Thanksgiving? Hello, hello, hello. How was your Thanksgiving? I am asking you all a question. Fattening and delicious. At least you had a good meal. That's why I am saying Americans. That's why I am saying Americans. Okay, that's good. It's a shame that... Actually, that's good. It's kind of a shame. Because I want to talk about Thanksgiving a little bit, okay? I want to start with a bit of like a rambly ramble about Thanksgiving per se. If there's any Americans who are watching the VOD or even on the stream here, I want to talk a little bit about a kind of like a Thanksgiving but for Asians, okay? For Chinese people. Thanksgiving for China. It hasn't happened yet. It starts around 20th to 21st December. And it is called Fengzi Godong. That's basically what it's called. It's loosely translated as winter solstice. And it is basically the Chinese equivalent of Thanksgiving for Americans. It's quite a... And the key similarity that I told some Americans on Twitter not too long ago is that Godong or Fengzi, winter solstice, they share one very core similarity. And that is family reunions. Family reunions. So really similar in the fact that basically your uncles, your aunts, your cousins, your distant relatives and all that, they just like visit for like a big dinner event and talk around and chatting and hanging out and reminiscing the old times. Reunion dinner basically. But what is a little different with the winter solstice and regular Thanksgiving is that I guess it's kind of normal during American Thanksgiving that you kind of have like that uncle or cousin you never get along with, and when you like have a reunion for Thanksgiving, you just argue with them, I suppose. That's the stereotype. You feel like That's what one of the American lurkers told me. You feel like strangling. He felt like strangling some family members who just come over and for the Thanksgiving dinner. Yeah, Sean Tori, I heard about the news, but I want to finish this talk for now. Anyway, the big difference. Of course, that's the superficial difference is that Thanksgiving and winter solstice, the food is completely different. I'll show you a little bit of something later. Actually, why not? I'll show you now. Let me move aside. There we go. Asian Thanksgiving. So, like I said, very important. It's basically reunion. It's like Thanksgiving, and the food is a bit different. There's like basically all kinds of different food, Chinese food basically. But one of the key things is that the equivalent of the Thanksgiving turkey for Americans is this dish. Peng yuan, or rice balls in soup. Very, very nice. Always look forward to it during winter solstice. Can never have enough of it, actually. Okay. You should try it, Guy Ash. If you ever get the chance to try it, try it. Xion, there are a lot of variations of this dish, Tom Yun. It is basically glutinous rice flour made into a dough. You make it round like a ball. You boil it. Thank you, JSV, for the super chat. Here's all my traveling money. Oh, Ben. None. Oh, no. You shouldn't do that. Well, firstly, I'm still trying to sort out AdSense with YouTube. Like I say, it'll take quite a while, probably the end of December, the earliest. And second point, if you are short on cash, please don't spend money, okay? Please don't spend money on super chats. Wait until you are well off enough, comfortable enough before you even consider that. Like I said, I'm sorting things out with Google and only send a little bit of tokens here and there if you can afford it and you're comfortable and I am worth it. And if you want me to get the tokens directly as fast as possible, just do it through Streamlabs, okay? Just a Streamlabs. Don't go through Google right now. I will make a big announcement when I've sorted out the problems with Google, okay? But anyway, JSV, I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Anyway, what did I want to say? Oh yeah, one of the big things is that Mo-chan, don't do that. Again, all of your super chats are going to Google and it's stuck at Google. I am not getting even a cent of it right now. So, like I say, oh no, Mike Dawson, didn't you hear what I said, Mike? Didn't you just hear what I say, Mike? Google is holding on to every single super chat. Anyway, like I say before, Streamlabs is the first avenue. Sneeze! Please.
We'll have nothing and you will like it.
What have I been saying for the past few minutes? I feel guilty actually. I touch wood. If my offensive Google can't be sorted, then money is basically just sitting in that account. I'd rather you just hold on to the money, honestly.
You will have nothing and you will like it.
Shakir, can you please stop? Please stop. I haven't finished my ramble. I want to talk more about the winter solstice. So let me get back to this. I really hope I can sort this out with Google AdSense because, oh god, they are taking forever to fix my issue. But I can't really fix the issue. I have to sort things out a little bit more manually. That'll take a while. I hope I can fix it. Hello, the game. Hello. Anyway, like I said, go to Streamlabs if you all want to consider sending anything. Okay? I want to keep going. You are all derailing my... Yep, and I am not happy about it. Anyway, the difference I wanted to say between Thanksgiving and winter solstice is that it is bad form, bad luck to start an argument during winter solstice. Unlike Thanksgiving where family members get into arguments once a year, winter solstice, you don't get into arguments. You should not get into arguments because there is one key difference. The key difference is that you get into arguments, bad luck follows you until the next winter solstice. You get me? Do you understand me? The whole idea is that if you argue during the winter solstice, you will argue for the rest of the year with anyone and everyone. So it is bad omen that way. Understand? Good. Even if you don't understand, I'm going to move on. Okay, let's pause a little bit and have a look at the chat. Any questions other than super chats? I wish I could clean these super chats. My god, I don't want Google to hold on to them. Is either you all hold on to the money that you all earn yourself, hard-earn yourself, or your money goes to the intended recipient and not Google. Not Google. There is a Streamlabs. My Streamlabs link is at the front page. You know what? know what? Do you want me to put the Streamlabs link on stream itself? Do you want me to put the Streamlabs link on the chat page itself? I've been like procrastinating from doing that. But if you all really want... Hold on, let me see if I can put that. Let me see. Anyway, while I do that, how about we chat? Have you all anything to chat about? Do you all have anything to chat about? Well, Morchan, how is my travels? Busy and painful, but enjoy. All things considered, I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have it any other way. Okay. Color. What would be a good color? Select font. Okay. Red. Okay, red. Red. Okay. I guess. Damn it. Oh, you know. It's fine? Nope. Of course it's not. Select color. And select color. Does this work? My god, that's a very big font. I don't like how big the font is. Oh my god, this is ugly. This is so ugly. I probably have to make like a custom splash. Make a custom panel for it. One on a future stream. But for now, this will have to do. Okay. That's fine. Okay. Anyway, my traveling has been very, very hectic. Barely have enough time to myself for the past few weeks. And it was just out of pure luck and coincidence I managed to scrounge a good few hours for tonight's stream. Lucky yes. Well, lucky me. Oh boy, how do I pin that on chat? Oh no. You cannot be serious. I have to log into it by OBS. You know what? Fine. Be that way. Fine. Be that way. This was not meant to be a scuffed stream. I cannot believe this. This was not meant to be a scuffed stream. This sucks. Okay. Hold on a minute. How do I pin this? Pin. There we go. Okay, that works. Okay, that works. Good enough. I will make a proper fancy panel for a future stream. But until then, remember, I want you all to remember. Don't give money out unless you are comfortable and you appreciate my apps. Okay? Please. Make sure you want to do it. Don't be obligated to do it at all. Understand that. Okay, for now, let's go back. Let's go back. I think I've talked enough about the winter solstice. I've talked enough about the winter solstice. So now, Malcolm, that $2 is...
have nothing and you will
Malcolm, FYI, that $2 is gonna be stuck at Google. So just fair warning. Okay? It's gonna be stuck at Google. Anyone want to keep... I want to keep going. I want to keep going. I want to keep going. Yes, Sneeze, it's in YouTube limbo. Until I can sort out my AdSense issues, it will be staying there. Hello, Lawin Koi. Welcome. I mean, you're trolling me with money? Yes, Malcolm, I just attached it on the front of the screen, if you can see it. Right here. Right here. But again, don't give money unless you want to. Only if you want to. Remember. Let me just get back to... I want to yap. There's one thing I really want to talk about. I put it. It's right here. It is pinned. It should be pinned. Yeah, it should be pinned. It should be pinned. Yes, it's pinned. Anyway. I want to talk about something, okay? And this is not... This has been grating on me for a while. It is an old topic, as in like last week's topic roughly. But since we didn't have a stream and I really wanted to talk about it, I'll talk about it now. Y'all remember that story I talked about not too long ago about a specific Vtuber who virtue signaled about a specific Vtuber avatar? Do y'all remember that? Do y'all remember that? Oh. Malcolm, I'll show you all. I'll show you all. Remember this one? Remember this one? Okay. Long stop. Oh. Citizen, thank you for the tippy tip. I appreciate it. Thank you. JSV, you already sent a super chat and you are not... You said you are a bit strapped on cash. Don't spend your money willy-nilly. Please. Anyway, I want to go back to this. Zeratos, hello. Hello. Welcome. I want to continue talking about this. Can you please just shut up for like a few seconds so I can talk about this? Please? Please? I beg you? Okay, let's get back to this. Let's get back to this. So, okay. You saw this, right? She was basically saying this. Remember this? Some of you may have remembered this. She was virtue signaling about, like, you know, the usual VTuber avatar thing. Specific type of height, specific type of build, that kind. Okay? Yeah. Very, very ironic thing. So she made this. And this VTuber, Alice, the brand risk, or Alice Alucard, she is a VTuber with that very specific kind of avatar. The one that this one says she is disgusted by. And the punchline to it is right here. They are mutuals. Which means this VTuber, Ian VTuber, must have brown-nosed Alice Alucard to the point that both of them became mutuals. And you know what's the punchline? She said in the center paragraph. Wait. I wish to not associate with this kind of people, nor have them in my community regardless of their size or popularity. Remember this statement, okay? I want you to remember this statement. Okay? Because I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you something ironic. I'll be back. I'll bring it up to you, for you. If I can find it. Okay. Found it? Now, this is all just for educational purposes. This is just for educational purposes. No one go pester any specific individual that I'm gonna talk about, okay? This is just to illustrate a specific form of behavior. I want you all to understand that, okay? This is getting tiring. Well, I will show you images. I'll just tell you, okay? The virtue signaling VTuber that I showed you has around 8,000 followers, okay? Keep that in mind. 8,000 followers. And I want to show you something. The VTuber who has that specific avatar this VTuber didn't like has 27,000 followers. And remember. Mutuals. They are mutuals. They were mutuals. They were mutuals. So, already, I have seen two problems with this virtue signal. The first problem is This Vtuber obviously cares about a Vtuber with a larger following, which means her second paragraph is completely false. And second, she is shameless enough to network with a Vtuber whom she claims to have a problem with. So, where is all that virtue? Where is all that morality? Where is it? So, two-faced. It boils down to two-faced. So with that out of the way, that is like the first part of the story. There is a second part of the story. The first part of the story, it happened around mid-October 2024. So around 21 October. And there's a new story that just came out from this same Vtuber. So late November 2024, she made this post. Read it. I want you to read it. Or I'll just read it out for you. It is getting old that every edgy VTuber these days is just someone that wants to cover for being a crappy person. Edgy content used to actually set up an intended humor behind it, not just spouting out slurs and treating people like trash. Okay. Very moral of you, right? Ian VTuber. Very big moral of you. So I made this comment. You know what? I'll show you the whole thread. It's worth it. It is worth it. Let me check. I'll find the whole thread. It's probably worth it. It is very worth it, actually. This is the problem with such a long time till the stream I made the tweet such a long time ago. I have to find it again. That shows you how effective some VTubers, unironically. I don't like using this word because it has been overused to hell and back, but drifting. It is quite shocking how crazy the amount of two-facedness some people commit to. So this is what I say. This was what I said. Let me open this. So this post. You saw this? We getting old edgy VTubers cover for being a terrible person, treating people like trash. So I just did that. I did this. This is what I say. Are you referring to yourself? Because, remember this? She came out and outed herself. She doesn't even watch VTubers. Yeah, she claims to be a VTuber. And this. The same post. So I posted this. And I talked about this. Because this was what she did. She incited her followers to target other VTubers. VTubers with a very specific type of avatar. And when she got called out for it by other VTuber fans, saying specific big name VTubers don't mind it, she comes out and says she doesn't even like watching VTubers. See this. Wait till he finds out I don't watch or enjoy VTubers, bro. What a gotcha. When she got flat for it, she said it was bait. And after she said it was bait, she advertised her store. So tell me. And something ironic. She's gonna say something very, very ironic. Just wait for it. Just wait for it. Remember this. Remember this post she made? And I'll show you something. I will show you something she made. Remember this post. Remember this post. Okay. Let's see if I can find it actually. I'll find it. It is quite a shocker that she has resorted to this type of attacks. There we go. Oh boy. The irony. Here we go. So this is what she said to me. Oh, you're the pygmy that call me a Wilo. I didn't call you a Wilo and VTuber. I call you a Bakjo. Two very different things. This one. This one. This is the ironic part. You that tight for cash, huh? That tight for cash, huh? Remember. Oh dear. Damn it. That tight for cash, huh? Remember that part that I talked to you about a few minutes ago? When she rage baited a large chunk of the VTuber fans, she plucked her own store. And now she's throwing the accusation that I am strapped for cash for calling her out on it. The irony. The absolute irony. So I got to this. I replied to her tweet. I say this. Hi for Kesha. Rich words. Says the one who claimed to rage bait the majority of VTuber fans. Admitted that VTubing was just a means to make money and clout, and you never enjoyed VTubers. Then you pluck your store to make money out of the negative attention. I have the receipts. I posted the receipts. And just before she blocked me, she said this. You are a drama VTuber. Literally, your content is rage baiting people by looking at Twitter. Think about it this way. Think about it this way. If you do not create issues for yourself, would I be posting about it? Would I be talking about it on stream? You make the content, I observe it, and I have an opinion on it. Lord knows you couldn't make it with creativity. I've seen your streams low. Fair enough. Okay. The first thing you actually said that kind of strikes. Also, last part. Just call me a slur and crash out again. Have I ever called you a slur and Vtuber? I describe your behavior. Don't gaslight me. Okay? Don't gaslight me. I know what I said and what I have not said. I know what I have said and what I have not said. So spare me. Nat Cado, that is correct. What do you call a person who rage baits, saying stupid things online? All the while being exposed as a two-faced hypocrite who says she hates a specific kind of VTuber, but Brown knows one of those VTubers because she has a bigger following than her. And when she got outed, she plugs her store trying to sell her stuff. What do you call that? If there's anyone who is a grifter here, you probably should look in the mirror first. That's my advice. But like I say, all this is all educational purposes only and for awareness. Do not approach anyone. I just want you all to be aware. Do something that is fair. I'm only trying to do what is fair. I will spread awareness, but that is all. Anyway, she blocked me. She blocked me. Predictable. She blocked me and talked behind my back. Classic. Anyway, that's the end of that. She's still here. She is still here. And you know, people tend to dislike the new blocking policy that Elon has made. But in my opinion, coming from Facebook and all that, I think it's a good change. These people, they can block me all they want, but I can still see their posts. I don't really care if people see my posts, but they seem to care a lot that lots of people like me see their posts. They care a lot. And now they're really upset that we can still see their posts even after they blocked us. Their honeymoon block is over. Like I say, a lot of people on Facebook are already used to this style of blocking and banning. Let's see what else do I feel like talking about. Oh yeah. That is his video that I saw recently. Very interesting video. It's a very interesting video. Darkness. If you're referring to there's a child she is here, probably. I just want to tell you, if you are here, or if you are watching a VOD, specific VTuber, it is, let's just say it is King Yi, baby. God's will. Tin Yi or fate. I said it on Twitter not too long ago, but I'll say it here as well. Specific VTuber. The one that I'm talking about acting two-faced and hypocritical. I would not have made those posts about you if you did not appear on my... If your specific virtue signaling post didn't appear on my feed and triggered me. Of all the posts that possibly appeared on my feed from you, it was this one right here. It was this one right here. Of all the posts that could have possibly appeared on my feed, it was the one that would trigger me. This one. You act like such a big moral and kind and very positive and wholesome individual. But remember, in October, people saw how you behave. Holier than thou. Yes. You gave such a holier than thou attitude with that November post. When 1 month earlier you admitted to rage baiting to make money. So spare me. And one more thing. I say this to you right now, not because I hate you. I say this to you right now not because I want to make your life miserable. And I don't say this to you right now so that people can harass you. And no one dare harass her. Remember that. Do not do anything like that. This is strictly for awareness purposes. Nothing more, nothing less. And if you are watching this stream right now, I am telling you right now, okay? If you have a change of heart, and if you realize what you did wrong, I will praise you. I'll make a post about you, saying that at least you understand what you did was wrong. At least you understand and are willing to be kind for a change. Remember, you have to remember what type of audience you are trying to attract. And your rage bait post, what it does to that specific audience perception of you. Can you afford to do that? Sure. You get a very short-term boost in cloud. A very short-term boost in possibly a few extra dollars worth of merch being sold from NNT or something like that. But in the long term, tell me, in the long term, where you made a post saying that why is no one watching your streams? Why are you always getting people in chat calling you out? Why is your chat filled with negativity? You ask yourself. You ask yourself what you have done wrong. Okay? You ask yourself what you have done wrong. This is hopefully my last post and yet about this specific Ian VTuber. And I hope if I ever do talk about her again, it is in a positive light and that she has a change of heart similar to Camilla, maybe. Camilla has been like a textbook example of how to rebuild your reputation and how to sincerely win back people over. I hope this specific VTuber has a Camilla moment. I am not holding my breath though, because she seems to be doubling and tripling down, but I hope one day. She may not be mature enough now, but one day. And I will be happy to talk good about you if you have a change of heart. Okay? Let's move on. Oh yeah, the YouTube video. I saw a very interesting YouTube video recently. Very interesting. Remember? Hold on. Remember a few weeks ago, I talked about a very specific kind of bakjo. The kind of bakjo who are Asian or non-Caucasian. They were born in like an Asian country, say Japan, Korea, Philippines, where have you. Then they either watch American television or go to an American university and come back behaving completely different, behaving like a Westerner and basically attacking their own culture. Remember that time? I call it the bakjo mindset. Remember that? Remember that? Lurkers, do you all remember that type of person? Behaving like a bakjo? Yes. So it goes back to this video. I want to have a bit of a watch with you all. A bit of a tiny, teeny, tiny watch party. Okay? Watch this, because it reinforces and says the things that I have talked about. But it's from a different YouTuber, and I think if some of you here do not take my view on that whole bakjo mindset seriously, maybe if you heard it from someone else, it will make a bit more sense, a bit more convincing. Let's watch it together.
Coverage of the American election was a little bit strange.
トランプさんですかね。結構パワーがある感じがするんで。
The TV host looked devastated that Kamala lost, and the entire studio looked like it was in Otsuya or in mourning. Only this girl didn't care because she's based. The TV host kept praying that Kamala could somehow win.
ハリス氏勝利というのは険しい道のりということですが、今後の注目ポイントはどこになりますか？
Girl, look at the numbers. So Japan may be an unofficial US colony, but why do these people care so much about the US election? Well, many of these people are what we call Pocahontases. Let me explain. So if you've been to Asia, you might know this, but Asians who want to appear elite.
Remember what this guy says, okay? For me, I call it the bakjo mindset, but in his situation, Japanese culture, they call it Pocahontas, the Pocahontas effect, or the Pocahontas mindset. And we'll find out more about it soon enough. It's a bit, well, Pocahontas, the Mo-chan Pocahontas, remember that Disney cartoon Pocahontas? Basically that. We'll continue.
Elite and cool would often use English words and consume media from the West, which
Look at this. Look at this post. You tell me with a straight face that this was something. This is not something that is completely conceived from an American bakjaw polluted mindset. Tell me. Tell me.
Consume media from the West, which tends to be overly liberal. And people who work for the media tend to belong to this elite class, who've probably never seen those conservative TikTok videos that helped Trump get votes.
So let's just tell me, what is Kamala Harris's greatest accomplishment?
And they were told by the Western mainstream media that Kamala Harris will definitely win. And you could say what I'm about to tell you is misogyny, but Japanese girls who go out of their way to appear Western and be liked by Western men are called Pocahontas. It's because they tend to do their hair and makeup like this, because that's what the Western men like. They are very disliked because they act like they are better than the regular Japanese people.
That is the mindset that is summed up with the bakjaw mindset as well. So, let's say an Indonesian, a Filipino, Korean, Japanese, what have you, they go to an American country or spend a little too long watching American shows, American news, everything American, and instantly they believe that they are better than everyone else in their own country. It is more pervasive than that. It doesn't just affect women. It does not affect women. I have seen it firsthand. Men as well. Men and women. Like I say, it is a mindset. And a mindset does not discriminate between men or women. Everyone is equally susceptible to this type of influence.
You will have nothing and you will like it.
Here. Isn't that something? Living in Japan, your co-workers are shocked. Huh. Oh, so shocked. I wonder why they're shocked. They watch what? CNN? They watch what? Hollywood? Like I say, it is a mindset. It is a mindset. Let's keep going. Okay. Watch this.
Sucks. Really.
And this is actually somewhat true because I've seen Asian people who grew up in the West wanting to distance themselves from the Asian culture because a lot of Asian culture is seen as immature by Western standards. That being said, simply introducing
It all boils down to this. There is a word that I have been kind of thinking about. And it has been especially true. Actually, very true. Unfortunately, it is very true. There is a word that I am trying to borrow from the 2015-2014 SJWs, and I'm using their word against them. Okay? I'm using their word against them. And that word is internalized colonialism. I hope you all understand why I say that. Internalized colonialism.
You will have nothing and you will like it.
Hello, Padoru. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. It is called internalized colonialism because it exactly is that. You have traditional colonialism, a typically Western, stereotypically Western power goes to a different foreign country, imposes their culture, imposes their mindset, their way of life, their language, anything. But internalized is that the person in question who is accepting everything, embracing everything, and forcing everything on themselves and behaving like it. Adam Top 132, think about it this way. Internalized colonialism, I'm going to use a rather extreme stylized example for you all. World War II, okay? World War II. Germany conquers France. Internalized colonialism is when a wealthy Frenchman collaborates with the Germans. Okay? Straightforward as that. They're basically saying everything that the Germans want to spread. That's how they behave. That's how the Pakchor mindset behaves. That is how internalized colonialism manifests. Anyway, let's keep going.
Using Western liberal ideas to Japan can get you some backlash. For example, this Japanese celebrity had to apologize when she referred to women as people with uteruses.
女性女性女性って癖で私も言っちゃうんですけど、生理っていうのは女性に限らず子宮のある
Case in point. Case in point.
All she wanted to do was appear Western and cool, but the Japanese women were not having it.
Oh boy. Oh god.
These women were not.
Oh boy. Oh boy. The Japanese netizens really went full Matt Walsh on this woman. They really went full Matt Walsh on this woman.
Not having it. Another media elite who got mocked a lot during the election coverage is this professor who thinks he knows more about Black American than actual black men. You can tell he's super liberal, seeing how happy he is posing with Democratic Party super.
Oh wow. He is a fanboy. He is such a fanboy. Well, to each their own. Let's keep going.
Stars.
黒人の男性の中にはマチョな白人男性に憧れる人がいるんですよ。ホーガン使った意図っていうのは黒人の男性を狙ったんですよ。
Oh wow. Oh wow. His Pakchor mindset is so thorough, so complete, that he even partakes in the classic Pakchor activity of speaking on behalf of other races, other communities. That is an achievement. You're basically a Pakchor at that point, through and through, when you speak on behalf of other people.
You're a Japanese man living in Japan. Why are you telling black men that they secretly want to be white? How would you feel if I told you that you secretly want to be the sidekick of Danger Mouse? He actually goes more hysterical as Kamala keeps losing.
明らかになったことは民主主義の危機が
Oh wow. Oh wow. It's like CNN. It's like watching the CNN anchor. It's like watching Rachel Maddow. It really is like watching Rachel Maddow when I watch this guy.
が今のアメリカ人の心を動かさない。
To the point that even the Japanese host was like, chill, bro.
さん前のめりすごいわ。あれ
And you cannot forget the influence of wealthy Americans who come to Japan, like these Japan Times writers telling us Japanese that we need to believe that Trump is
Japan times. Interesting. It is always Japan times. Japan times also made that whole shtick about the whole stupid spiel about localization and how it's a good thing. I remember that article they wrote. And yes, interesting. The source of funding from the Japan Times. The usual pension funds, the usual hedge funds from America. Interesting. Let's keep going.
Is evil. A Japanese crew even interviewed American tourists in Japan, and no surprise, the ones rich enough to travel are all Team Kamala.
Trump is a buffoon. I am very embarrassed.
Frost, thank you for the tip. I appreciate it actually. And please make sure that you are comfortable financially before you do any tipping. This goes for everyone too, okay? This goes for everyone too. But really, it really does illustrate the key point, isn't it? It really does illustrate the key point. This YouTuber, Dean from Japan, illustrates a very important point. The people who claim to be so progressive, so anti-racist, how Trump is a fascist and all that things, it's always very interesting that they're always the richest and most privileged people who can travel to Japan anytime they want and enjoy themselves, have a holiday anytime they want. Yet they are the ones who claim to understand what oppression is. Very interesting that, they understand oppression while they sip on their champagne or drink their decaffeinated oat milk latte, talking about how they are living in a fascist totalitarian state where they have less rights than before. It's always so interesting. It's just like the case where people who support communism always end up being the richest, most privileged, comfortable people. They are trust fund kids with a lot of money in their bank, a lot of their parents' money, a lot of their inheritance money, what have you. Living the lap of luxury. Yet they go online talking end to end about how they are living in an oppressed society and how socialism is the solution to everything. Always. Let's keep going.
For America.
My country is going to die soon because we just elected a mini dictator. It's a little bit scary to think about going home.
It was
Mini dictator. Mini dictator. If he was a mini dictator, when you were back in US during 2017 to 2020, why are you still able to travel so freely and comfortably if he was a mini dictator? Shouldn't you be arrested for talking bad about the supreme leader if he was a mini dictator? Shouldn't you be fined and have all your money taken from you, your bank account frozen, if you were a mini dictator and you wrong thing against him? Funny how none of that happens and you can still comfortably travel to Japan on a holiday. Funny how that works. Let's keep going.
It was kind of funny when an argument started between Americans being interviewed on Japanese TV.
No good.
Oh, If you want a little bit of comedy, just watch this few seconds. It's funny.
He's awful. You're just eating up what the media tells you to eat.
Yes, because you understand everything, sir.
Yes. Just
Yes,
like
you do.
Yeah.
Hey, Trump supporter, let the rich snob speak. He's entitled to his opinion. And yes, even Patrick, a super successful American comedian in Japan, is entitled to his opinion.
Comedian. Remember, it was one time back in 2016 through to 2018, there were a lot of bakjoa. There were a lot of bakjoa who post some of the hottest takes and the dumbest takes on Twitter. And whenever you go click on their bio, their career is always comedian. Excuse me. I thought comedians were meant to be funny. Or maybe they're kind of funny in a way. Their hot takes are laugh-worthy. But it's really funny. There was like this point in time where every single bakjoa had in their bio comedian. Everyone was a comedian. They say they make the hottest takes that get ratio to hell and back, but they're comedians. They always call themselves comedians. Just something odd I noticed.
His opinion about the election, even though he's been in Japan since the 90s. And this is his meltdown that the Japanese mocked.
僕別にもうトランプに怒ってませんけど、アメリカ国民に怒ってます。経済見てください。もうインフレが低いんですよ。バイデンのおかげでしょ。なのに
You saw the crowd, right? You saw this part. You saw this. See those two hosts. See the two Japanese hosts. Just look at them the moment he said inflation is low under Biden. Just look at their reaction. Just see it.
So if...
Oh boy. You don't have to... Ting will say the exact same thing as I will say, but I will say it first, okay? That is the type of awkward, patronizing laugh that most of us in Asian culture tend to use in a public environment. In a public environment where we are like strangers, so let's say we are interviewing someone in front of a camera, and we're hosting something, or we're just speaking to a friend of a friend of a friend's in a public event, and that friend of a friend of a friend says something very, very stupid. But because we're in a public setting and we are like in a public setting and we can't exactly speak our mind, so with the guy says something stupid, let's say if we were behind closed doors, or we are particularly close with everyone in the room and this person says something stupid, we'll just say, 有冇搞錯? Huh? 你講啲嘢都冇 make sense 嘅. What you're saying is stupid. If we were honest, we'll say, what you're saying is very stupid. But of course, if you're amongst strangers and it is not appropriate to be blunt with people, we're just like, just a bit of an awkward laugh. A bit of an awkward laugh. Just to patronize. It's like a low-key patronizing type of quip. It's a low-key patronizing kind of response. And if you are an Asian, you will know instantly the discomfort and the low-key mockery people have when they behave that way. Just that insincere laughter. Just for the sake of appearing civil. That's what he's doing. And anyway, this YouTuber will reiterate that point.
So if you're not Asian, let me explain. Those are the faces of Asians politely nodding along as the Westerner is doing his own thing.
だから民主党がいいことやっても得点できない。トランプが悪いことやっても減点にならない。
They're all like, here goes the gaijin again.
冷静になれましたか？反省してもこの先勝てないんじゃないかと。
Look at that woman. Look at that. Look at that woman's reaction.
この先
I have laughed like that before. It's like, it's the kind of laugh where it's like, I can't believe he's still talking type of thing. Or, can we just change the topic already, please? That is the kind of laugh that we tend to have when we are kind of done with it.
この先勝てないんじゃないかと。
So I don't think I need to clarify, but I am absolutely neutral on this topic. But Patrick is a Harvard graduate elite with a mansion in the middle of Tokyo. It kind of feels wrong that he's upset at the choices made by everyday Americans living in the US who have to deal with issues such as increased crime rates. But here's where it gets interesting. So far, we've only been talking about legacy media, but what about the new online Japanese media, where people don't have to cater to Western liberal standards? Because Japanese people will push back in a subtle, very Japanese way if they think you're full of shit. And these people are brutal in their takedown of
controller that I'm gonna admit, I would have mentioned this guy having a mansion too. I would have so talked about it. It's like, think about it this way, okay? Controller. Think about it this way. It's like when I talk about Hassan, when he rants about socialism and all that things, yet he has a multi-million-dollar mansion in Hollywood. He has a Porsche. He owns companies, and he's a trust fund kid. And he's ranting about communism and socialism. So I understand why this YouTuber guy, Dean from Japan, mentioned it as well. Because it's a type of thing you would just want to mention for people who have the gall to speak on behalf of others without self-awareness. It is very normal. I would have done the same in Dean's place. So let's keep going.
of Kamala Harris.
さんが大笑いして女子会みたいなのでやってるっていうとちょっと引いちゃうみたいなことにつながっている。
黒人系の方々の文化っていうのは女性は男性に使えるっていう黒人男性が黒人女性をトップに選ぶのは難しいかもね。
Yeah, that's just his opinion.
女性大統領を見てみたいっていう夢を一瞬でも見せてくれる人ではあったと思うんですよ。
トランプさんがやったからといって、じゃあその一般大衆の給料が増えるのか物価が下がるのかっていうと、結局のところアメリカ人の怒りの矛先というのは別のところに向くことになるんじゃないかなとは思っています。
Then an American white bro for Harris joins the show.
ハリス氏の勝利を願っていた民主党支持者。
早速日本人に期待しようと考えてます。
And he gets absolutely roasted by the Japanese.
フィルターバブルがみんなにあるわけですから、ちゃんと教育を学んでね。
それでもめちゃめちゃ学歴差別じゃないですか。
学歴。
Oh boy, oh boy. The locals are not having it. They are really not having it. They are not having it. Let's keep going.
Imagine if you're an American elite and you got told off by a guy dressed like a clown. But our Harrisburg doesn't give up just yet.
キャストっていう媒体が今本当に無法地帯でやりた方で言えるんですよね。で、ジョー・ローガンっていう一番有名なポッドキャストがいるんですけど、彼もトランプとインタビューもしてて、
誰かのせいにしすぎてるんですよ、民主党とか。まあ多分トランプはトランプで負けた時にはそれ不正だって言って、みんな誰かのせいで自分は負けた。今回負けたのはこのポッドキャストのせいだとか。
いや、僕言ってる、今公平招きの言い方ですよ。
いやでもね、そういう風に見えるんですよ。そういうね発想がおそらく民主主義に合わないんです。
So I think you can see.
Oh wow. Imagine that. Imagine that. Saying the fact as it is. You censor other people's right to speak. That is not democracy. That is one of the key aspects of fascism and communism. Funny how that works. Every time I see those CNN articles or the New York Times articles saying that free speech is a threat to democracy, you say that out loud in a different country. Look how good that will make, how good it will be for you. Look how people will respond when you say, free speech is a threat to democracy. Say that out loud. See how people in other countries react to what you just say.
You can see why the Japanese media tend to endorse Western liberal ideas. But one thing I found really interesting is that these two American men have been living in Japan for a very, very long time. Yet they seem to live in this liberal American bubble. This just shows that in this day and age, it's super easy to live in your own bubble, even if you're in another country. So even though your everyday Japanese people may find what these guys are saying is a little bit strange, they are just saying things that their American friends would approve of. So it doesn't really hurt to be open-minded to other people's opinions, unless you're a Pocahontas.
So many places, I guess it must.
Skip this part. I don't need.
Whether you vote for Harris or Trump, we can all agree on one thing.
Oh, Disney, what are you doing?
We all hate Disney live-action remakes.
ハリス、良くも悪くも現状維持っていう日本人っぽい考え。
女性の大統領っていないでしょ。だからいないんやったら帰ってみたらどうかな。戦争なくなるかもわからないし。
絶対にこっちの方がなった方が面白いし。
日本とはなんかね仲良くやってくれそうですと。
その辺はどうでもいいかなと。
Notice that. I always notice that. Very odd. Nah, I probably won't mention it. He's good. Okay, I will mention it just a side bit. Notice how the ones who always opine about the usual backdoor mindset always seems to look like a... they came out from California. And a little thinking out loud. Neither here nor there. Anyway, that was an interesting video. Twisted Jet, there are so many Mulan movies that are so much better than what we got from Disney. A lot. I'll read chat before I move on to the next topic. But you know what is the saddest thing about? You know what is the saddest thing about that last few seconds, that woman who talked about? Or was it a guy? Let me see. Was it the guy or the... The guy. The one with the glasses wearing a cap. I find absolutely concerning that he unironically believes that voting for the status quo is going to end wars. How does that work? Think about it for a little. Think about it for a little bit. For 4 years, we have the quote-unquote most popular president in history with Biden. He ran the government, well, the people, well, just for argument's sake, he ran the government with Harris for 4 whole years. And what do we have? 2 new wars. Peace treaty completely scrapped. Disaster after disaster. And this guy has the gall to say voting for the status quo is going to end wars. How does that work? Tell me, how does that work? Is that a New York cap? Is that a New York cap? Almost look like a New York cap. What a coincidence. But really, how does that work? How does that work? You vote for a government that has been operating for the last 4 years, hoping for things to change. How does that work? Anyway, I think that's the end of that topic. Ending wars is futile, unfortunately. But the best bet is reducing. Or at least not create new ones. Ideally reducing. There will always be wars, but it will be better if there's less. Okay, let's keep going. What do I... Have you watched The Path of Exile? Trailers? Have you watched The Path of Exile? Breakdown of Endgame and the mechanics? Oh boy. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Don't you all have a bit of a treat? It is a very, very long...
Just what?
It is a very long trailer, but I will go through like some key points that I want. I'll show you how long the video is actually. For those who did not know about Path of Exile 2, you all know about Diablo, right? Diablo 4? Things. I saw that random dude. I mean, let's just talk about Endgame, okay? Because that is obviously something that Diablo 4 continuously lacks. J Hinks, tiring and busy. But all things considered, it's fine. What happened to your comments? Oh, a shame.
In-game mechanic needs to have its own progression system, areas, bosses, rewards, and player power that can only be gained from that content. We are going to be adding a lot more over time, but for Path of Exile 2 we decided to start with 7 distinct systems you can progress through. This is the Atlas, and it serves as the core of the endgame for Path of Exile 2. It's infinite and expands in all directions. Now, we are not going to spoil the plot too much here, but corruption from the beast has blighted the land, and your objective is to help fight it. In the center of the Atlas you will find the Ziggurat, a temple in which the Val research the fundamentals of space and time. Here we can open portals to nearby locations and begin cleansing corruption and finding resources. In order to power the portal device, we will need waystones. Each waystone
Path of Exile 2 controller. Long story short, people are calling it... Well, people are calling Diablo 4 Path of Exile Lite. So, that should give you an idea of Path of Exile as a game. Here's the second game. It's coming out soonish, the beta.
Waystone has a tier which will determine the level of the monsters that you will face. To go to an area, simply click one that is adjacent.
Okay, Lawinkoi? What part of it sounds boring to you? Maybe I can show you a little bit of the part that you think is boring. Which part would be considered boring? Normally. You mean Path of Exile 2? Looks like Veil God? Really? Okay, maybe I'll show you a little bit of combat, maybe. The one Clay will show you a little bit of combat. Maybe if he helps.
Now, early access will initially have 6 classes available. Let's have a look at them. The Monk is a fast and furious melee fighter. He dashes in and out of combat and has mechanics that involve building up and keeping momentum. Like all classes in PoE 2, you'll want to use a wide variety of skills to mix and match different combos. To get new skills, you will first need to find skill gems. Using a skill gem will open the gem cutting menu, which shows all the active skills available in PoE 2. You can choose an existing skill to level up, or choose to engrave a new one. Since this is a level 7 skill gem, even if you pick a new skill, it will immediately be level 7, so there's no harm in trying out something new. Path of Exile 2 has a system of support gems that can be combined with your active skills to dramatically change the way they work. If you find a support gem, then right-clicking it will open up this screen. Here you will find a variety of recommended support gems for each of your skills that you can pick between. For example, this is a multiple projectiles support gem and can be used to add multiple projectiles to any skill. Normally, when you fire a grenade, it'll look like this. But if we add multiple projectiles, then you get 3 of them. Once you have the gem, you can also freely move it between any of the skills in your character. If you want to have a multi-shot sniper rifle instead, then simply move the gem over to your high-velocity round skill. Generally speaking, if it sounds like a support gem should work with a skill, then it will work. So it's a good idea to experiment. Note that you can only have one of each support gem on your character, so you'll want to think carefully about which supports can be used best with each skill for maximum damage. Now, if you want to stick to the recommendations, you should have a perfectly good time. But if you want to experiment a bit more, then uncheck that recommended button and you can see the full list of supports that will work with your skill. There are hundreds of support gems to choose from, and even we don't know the results of all the possible ways these can interact. Each skill can have up to 5 supports socketed into it, and if you're clever, you can come up with some pretty interesting ideas. Now, all of this is just scratching the surface. You can make frost vortexes, break people's armor, make minions explode, make skills repeat, make enemies set each other on fire, cull enemies, or pin them to the ground. Supports let you drastically change the behavior of your skills and create your own unique build, or at least follow someone's OP build guide. So, speaking of builds, let's talk about one of the most...
That is like a very, very, very small part of... Very, very, very small part of the game. And yes, though, again, this game will be free to play. Path of Exile 1 was free to play, so this game will be free to play too. Show them the skill tree. Okay, it might scare some people away, but sure.
Most iconic Path of Exile systems, the passive skill tree. Yes, it's huge. There are over 1,500 nodes on there. Now, a lot of people open the tree and can get a little intimidated at first, but try not to be scared. There are lots of options, but at its core, it's pretty simple. Each level you get 1 point to put into the tree. Each class starts at a different location, but they all share the same tree. Around your section of the tree, you'll find relevant bonuses for your character. You should be safe in the knowledge that there aren't many wrong choices here. Almost all the starting nodes will be useful for your character in some way. But if you do happen to make a choice you regret, you'll be able to respec any nodes you've taken by spending a little bit of gold. Now, the tree is generally divided up into clusters which have similar themes. In each cluster you will find small nodes that give simple bonuses like increased damage, but the real power comes from notables. Notables normally have much more interesting bonuses, and they tend to care a lot more about how your build works and what skills you're using. For example, in the mercenary area of the tree, this one gives a 25% chance for crossbow skills.
In-game gold. It is the base currency for the game. So, you get gold pretty much everywhere. The premium currency is only used for buying cosmetics and more item slots, essentially.
Skills to not consume a bolt. And here's one that gives grenades a chance to blow up a second time. This one gives a chance for projectiles to rebound off terrain, as well as giving you some pierce chance to make that more likely. Note that even though this is in the mercenary section, this would work with projectiles from all classes, so there are often reasons to go to different areas of the tree. In order to get between these clusters, you will generally have to allocate nodes in the attribute highways. Attribute nodes allow you to pick which attribute you would like to use, so it's very easy to get points for any attribute that your gear might need.
Hello, color man.
You
Hope
can
you're
change which
having a good
attribute these
day.
nodes give you for half price at the respec vendor. In addition to notables, you will also find even larger passives called keystones. Keystones have both an upside and a downside, and often require changing your entire build to design around them. A great example is Giant's Blood, which allows you to wield two-hand weapons in a single hand, but doubles the attribute requirements of them. You can use a two-hand mace with a shield, or even dual wield them.
Hold up. Roly-poly. You are making a VTuber action RPG? Did I just see that right? Did I just see that right? Oh wow. How about we... Do you have a YouTube video out for it? Do you have a YouTube video out for it? It's on your Twitter. Hold on, let me have a look. You know what? You all can watch Path of Exile video in your own time. Give it a try. Keep an open mind. If you haven't heard of Path of Exile, keep an open mind. I want to go to Roly Poly. I want to see this game that they are developing. Hold on. Rustira, thank you for the membership. Oh, I see it. It's a face connect. That looks cute. That looks cute. 25 seconds. 25 seconds, let me see. Okay. Cheese nachos. Thank you for the membership. Pull back a few to see more combats. Ah, this one. You're gonna have a lot of work to do, Roly Poly. Oh boy, this looks like it's going to be a really big project. Good luck with that. I like how you keep using Tenma. It's hilarious. Well, I'll be looking forward to seeing what you... Oh boy, that is a cursed Kippa. Oh boy, scary eyes. I'll be watching this. It's gonna be a interesting little project. Looking forward to seeing what you come up with, Roly Poly. Until then, good luck. Okay. Now. What else have I got to talk about? A little bit of a break, maybe. I'll read chat. I'll take a break a bit and read the chat. How's the project to Kington? Cornelius Xavier, good luck trying to convince me to play a turn-based game. Good luck. Well, I technically already played a turn-based game. Buckshot Roulette, remember? I had a collab with a few other VTubers. I played a bit of Buckshot Roulette. Turn cringe. Turn cringe. End of story. No, especially not Final Fantasy Tactics. I don't like grid-based turn-based games, and I don't like turn-based games where two group of people stand at ends of a field, politely taking a hit at one another and then just going back to their standing spots. Feels very immersion breaking. Dragon Age Origins is okay because it gives the impression of real time. What the hell, Ryu? What the heck is wrong with you? You accidentally dislocated your kneecap the second time? No, don't dislocate your kneecap the third time. What is wrong with you? Don't do that. And get better soon. Well, to be fair, a few days ago I fell down. Fell down hard. And oh boy, muscles still hurt till now. It's recovering, but holy crap, it hurts. It hurts so much. Couldn't even sleep for because of the pain. I slipped. Darkness, I slipped. Unfortunately. Okay, what do I want to talk about? What else do I want to talk about? I don't know. One of those days I actually... You know, one of those days I actually was curious about... Don't know how she appeared on my feed actually. But I just found out about Midas, the VTuber. She's funny. Reminds me of a very specific anime character though. You all know of Midas? I'm sure you all do. She's more well known than I am. Yeah. Core of Nidus. At one time, I follow a different VTuber. His name I collab with him, you probably already remember. He's like Ratanak, the Cambodian VTuber. One of his collabs was with a VTuber called Midas. And out of curiosity, I watched some of her streams and I also watched some of her short videos. And one thing I noticed about Midas, it's very specific thing I noticed about Midas. And it made me chuckle when I realized it. Come on. Don't tell me you don't notice it. Don't tell me you don't notice it. It doesn't end there, by the way. It doesn't end there, by the way. It does not end there. It's hilarious. And you know what's the funniest thing about it? When I told Midas, you look like Kuroki Tomoko from Wakamote. And apparently she had no idea. She really did have no idea. She didn't know. It was pure coincidence that she noticed it. I just found it funny, but sometimes things are weird like that. And it's hilarious. It's nice seeing wholesome things, wholesome, funny, weird coincidences rather than something negative. So I just felt like it. Felt like talking about it. It was fun. Anyway, Midas is fun to watch. A bit on the relaxing side to watch too. A bit on the relaxing side to watch too. If you all have some time and you just feel like winding down off and on, hey, you want to watch someone who isn't me for a change? You can try Midas. Yes, Darkness, Midas is also a VTuber. Apparently, she started off making shorts on YouTube and slowly branched out to streaming. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it. She is literally like Tomoko. It's hilarious how close she behaves like Tomoko sometimes. Let me see if I can find it. If I can find it. Why am I always having trouble looking for things? Why? Oh my god. There we go. See you later, exes. Take care and have a good day. Oh, a bowl of rice. Trouble in paradise, isn't it? It is trouble in paradise. I guess the saying goes. all good things come to an end. I have no idea what's going on behind the scenes that might be causing this progressive departures. So 2 are going to remain quote unquote affiliated with Hololive, but one of them is outright leaving, as in completely leaving. And yeah, that's right, Mo-chan. It is bound to happen. It is bound to happen. Everything has an end. And it is kind of good to see that, in a way, the departures have been not too dramatic. Not having a dramatic departure is often a good thing in many cases, especially when it comes to VTubing. But I'd be lying if I'm saying I find the frequency of these 3 incidents to be a bit eyebrow raising. Anyway, I want to trace back to this for a while. I found it. I finally found it. It's Midas. Just wanted something funny. It's very funny.
This is my mission.
I'm calling the cops!
That's the ticket. Now the flowers will grow.
Their laugh was straight out of something from Watamote. And I was like, there was a very funny laugh. Yes. Let's find Tomoko laughing actually. Interesting, very hard to find. They had to find Tomoko laughing vids. Spare it. You all probably watched the anime. Most of you probably watched the anime anyway. Shito, welcome. Welcome to the stream. It is a bonus stream for December. Yep, quite a lot of things. I have been yapping for quite a lot of things. So Mo-chan, you know exactly right why I say what I said about Midas. Nocturne, you have missed quite a lot. And I am going to gaslight Midas into believing that she is the Tomoko of VTubing. And it will be hilarious. If you lurkers start following Midas, keep making her believe that she's Tomoko. Keep doing it. You know what? I'm gonna tell Kizuda I coming back. I wanna show you all a meme, okay? I wanna show you all a meme. If I can find it, Sido-chan, I'm gonna find that meme. If I can find it, I will show you all. I hope I can find it. And I have found it. Let me check. I'm going to show you a meme. And I find the timing to be very, very interesting. Let's just say that. Very interesting. Are you ready? Are you ready? Funny how things work. Funny how things work. Really makes you think. Really makes you think. So, 2016 happened. Orange Man got his first term. 2024 happened. Oh yeah, so 2016 happened, Orange Man got his first term. 2017, not long after he's inaugurated, Kizuna Ai made her debut. And then 2024 just happened. Orange Man won again. And would you look at that? Kizuna Ai probably will re-debut. Funny how things work. Remember, funny how things work. History is repeating itself. Anyway, go check out Midas. I think she's funny. I think she has some decent yaps off and on. And not gonna lie, when I look at Midas, I think of Tomoko. So that adds to the appeal. Tell her I sent you and tell her that she's Tomoko. Keep gaslighting her. Anyway, let's go on to the next topic, shall we? Oh boy. Avowed Ubisoft and all that cases. I will get to the next topic after a brief break, okay? I'll get back to the next topic after a short break. So don't go. Talk amongst yourself, okay? Talk amongst yourself. I'll be back. again. It happened again. Every time I move away for a few minutes, this happens. Every time. I'm just reading back all these comments in the chat. What is going on? Stop it. Stop it. You beg for forgiveness, Seto-chan. You're just gonna do it again a different stream. Spare your apologies. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Let's keep going. What do I want to say? Oh yeah. You all know about that whole situation with Avowed, right? Obsidian? You all know the whole situation about them? Well, let's just say I'm a bit surprised by what came out from the news. Very, very surprised. But I shouldn't be too surprised actually. I should have expected it. It has been happening to almost every Western game development company.
I was contacted by an ex-Obsidian employee that wanted to speak out about the environment over at Obsidian after all this information started coming out surrounding Matt Hansen. And the person that reached out to me said that they trusted me to get this information out to you guys.
Well, the starting intro, TLDR, an insider at Obsidian, probably still not working there anymore. Reach out to Smash JT, talking about some very interesting but disturbing things about Obsidian.
And this keeps going back to the same thing we've discovered at other studios, going to BioWare, Firewalk Studios, and now Obsidian. The same pattern keeps showing up here. And you gotta ask yourself at some point, why does this keep happening? Hit that subscribe, give me a like, and check out smashjt.com for the full and very exhaustive article going through this whistleblower completely exposing Obsidian Entertainment behind the scenes, and when Microsoft took over, how it completely ruined the entire dynamic of the studio.
A lesson to be learned here, actually. It is a lesson to be learned. Whether it is Sony or Microsoft, we learn to be on guard whenever you hear about them acquiring a game development studio. For some reason, it just keeps happening.
Whistleblower from Obsidian Entertainment has come forward with some seriously wild information about the studio's internal culture under Microsoft's ownership, and more specifically, how Matt Hansen grew to power over there. The following insights I'm going to go over in this video have painted quite the grim picture of a once thriving creative environment that's unfortunately devolved into a corporate-driven leftist echo chamber where agendas and ideologies now far outweigh any kind of actual passion for game development.
Zero
This former
online,
employee, who
thank
we'll
you
just
for the
call
super
Doe
chat.
for the anonymity purposes of
Unfortunately,
this
it'll be
video,
stuck at Google
describes
for
the
a while.
workplace completely completely overrun by external influences, misguided priorities, and a toxic atmosphere that ultimately drove him out. It takes a very brave person to come forward as a whistleblower over an organization they used to be at, especially in the video game industry that seems to go out of its way to blackball anybody that dares try to call out any wrongdoing. And Joe said to me specifically, I know how spiteful of a person Matt unfortunately is, and I know he and probably others will try to witch hunt me just to try and make my life hell because they aren't getting their way. So huge shout out.
Wow. It's the same pattern over and over again. When they can't get their way, they fly into a rage and attack you. So predictable. Classic move, as they say. It keeps happening. They really cannot accept even a sprinkle, the smallest sprinkle of bad talk. They cannot tolerate it. They lash out in so much anger.
Out for coming forward, and I'm going to do my best in this video to protect the anonymity of this person, but also getting the information out there. The center of this catastrophe, none other than Matt Hansen, the art director at Obsidian Entertainment. Some of the stuff that this whistleblower called out blew my mind. And just to give you guys full background on the whistleblower reaching out to me, they saw my initial video expose calling out this Matt Hansen character, and they decided to reach out to me via email. They said that they're a big fan of my video exposés of information. The shift in workplace dynamics began after Microsoft acquired Obsidian in November of 2018.
Why? So, long story short, outside influence destroyed Obsidian. Microsoft is to blame. The same way Sony is to be blamed for all the video game censorship and content editing. It's so tiresome. And what makes it even more tiresome is how predictable it is.
2018 and made them a part of Xbox Studios back then. They implemented some very strange corporate policies. According to Doe, things weren't normal anymore, beginning with an email to the entire company about how Microsoft is now instituting the introduction of optional but in reality mandatory pronouns in email signatures, meetings, and other various communications around the office. And while initially framed as optional, it became quickly clear that dissent was not welcome. Doe decided that they didn't want to add pronouns to their communications because they thought it was just weird. But they went along with the idea that others were free to do so in a very live and let live mantra that was initially at least harmless at the time. Doe knew that deep down, not including pronouns wasn't a good look from the jump, but declined them anyways because it was just so strange to them. And
speaking of the Kadokawa and Sony acquisition, you remember that tweet I shared not too long ago? Someone was running defense for Sony. Do you remember that? Very odd defense for Sony. I'm gonna look for it because it is a very odd mindset. Very, very odd. I would like to look for the tweet itself, but long story short, what he basically said was that Sony buying Kadokawa is a good thing because if they don't buy Kadokawa, Tencent could buy it, and that's bad. What is that? What type of mindset is that? What type of mindset is that, honestly? That's like saying, if I don't steal it, someone else will. What type of logic is that? It's an excuse. It's an excuse. Hasn't the idea of Kadokawa just staying as it is actually been a consideration? Why has that not been a consideration? Kadokawa has no idea what he's asking for. Sony, as it exists, it is not in a good state. Not a good state at all. Oh wow. I can't find it anymore actually. Well, Lurkers, the guy who posted about that whole free rant thing and demons not deserving to be called evil, he went on protected mode, didn't he? The Lurkers guy, the one who made that 1-hour video about free rant. Found it. Nah, Sony is better. If Sony don't buy Tencent will get it, it's much worse. Would I like to make a devil's advocate argument of fairness? Would I? Let's just say I am not particularly fond of Sony acquiring Kadokawa, and by extension acquiring From Software. Nothing good ever comes out of it. Not with current Sony management. This is a very important point. Funny how that has to... What type of a mindset that is to assume that just because Sony doesn't buy it, someone else will buy it. Probably, but also probably not. I feel I should get back to the video about Avowed, shouldn't I? Yeah, Lurkers, he went on protected mode after that whole video he made about free rent, I think. Or he just blocked me. But I think he went on protected mode.
And of course, the harmless pronoun situation turned very serious shortly after the initial email came through. There was a misgendering incident, as Doe put it, and Matt Hansen sent a company-wide email declaring a zero tolerance for intentional or malicious misgendering. The email's tone was described to me as passive-aggressive, yet fairly...
Yes, Roly Poly is the guy who said, pay me $8 to unhide your post. Exactly. He said to a lot of people. And he was starting an argument with me over how I was the one being disingenuous. When I write essays to explain why he's wrong, all he does is misrepresent what I say, create a caricature of what I say. Hello, Lurker-chan. Glad you made it. The head lurker, as they say.
fairly threatening. It was a warning to employees who couldn't align with the policies and how they would be facing termination if they decided to go against this innocent thing called pronouns. So here you see having a harmless idea of instituting pronouns turning out to be quite harmful in the grand scheme. Who would have thought? In all seriousness, don't describe what I would agree as using pronouns as a way of controlling others.
Actually, this is a very long video from Smash JT. He covers a lot of very interesting things. Very interesting things. Very interesting things he found out from this Obsidian whistleblower. And one of those things is... finding out he is discriminating in terms of employment and promotion. And one of the co-founders of Obsidian, who now no longer was at Obsidian, he made a series of tweets basically saying, just sue Obsidian, because it seems, according to him, Obsidian discriminating based on gender is 100% according to him accurate. And we have Matt Hansen confirming it basically. We can read this. Very odd words to use, very odd things to say. How he gets away with it is simple. He has control of management. He is one of the senior employees at Obsidian currently, and he has another director who is supporting him. So at the end of the day, it's like nepotism, their little clique. Don't get me started on that. I'll talk to you about later on that, Twisted Jack. Another very odd story I picked up. I found out. Oh, Rudy Poly. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise you didn't apply for a job at Obsidian. Probably a blessing in disguise right now, in hindsight. And that little chat I had with the talking chair a few weeks ago during that collab, he brought up a whole point about so-called diversity and inclusion and how the very idea of it has been polluted, twisted. I saw a very interesting article. Very interesting article that perfectly illustrates how fake this whole diversity and inclusion is. It is telling. The implication is very severe. Read the headline. They admitted the problem out loud. When you are so obsessed with creating quotas and tokenistic quotas, as you say, you incidentally ignore the most important thing about almost any job: merit, skills, experience, passion. And because that happens, you get things like this. Half of Assassin's Creed Shadows devs have never built a game before. This does not, if I were an Assassin's Creed fan right now, this will not fill me with optimism. And the first question I would ask Ubisoft is, how? How are you making such a big budget, big name, new mainline Assassin's Creed game and half of your devs haven't developed a game before? What would your answer be? Well, he kinda said it but didn't answer it. Not much information. His response didn't explain exactly why he sent so many completely untested game developers to develop such a big mainline game. Assassin's Creed Shadow will be fun. It'll be fun to watch. Probably not that fun to play. And on the topic of... And I want to add to this topic actually. I want to add to this topic. The whole idea of there is another video that a whole lot of drama that recently came out where one of the founders of God of War, that guy David Jeff, remember him? I only remember him now. David Jeff, he, let's just say, made a very series of very hot takes. Very hot takes. One of his takes was saying that the reason Veilguard and Star Wars Outlaws, all these games failed, was because of quote-unquote grifting YouTubers. Oh yeah. Sure, grifters. That is definitely the reason why Veilguard and Star Wars Outlaws fail. For sure, that is exactly the reason why. It definitely has nothing to do with the game being either very unfun or a buggy, unstable, and unfun mess. Nothing to do with that. The devs did nothing wrong. It is all the fault of the YouTubers who talk bad about the game. Oh yes, for sure. Yeah. And in one of the videos, I think one of the videos David Jeff made, you can watch for yourself. Someone asked, if a YouTuber played Dragon Age Veilguard from start to end and then gave his negative opinion about the game, is he still a grifter? That was the question that was asked of David Jeff. And he said yes, basically. His reasoning for it is that he is a grifter because if he played a game to give a negative opinion, he is grifting. Something along the lines of that. How does that make sense? You know, it would have made a lot more sense if he said someone who has a very, very, very negative opinion of a game but didn't play it, maybe you can make that argument. Maybe you can make that argument if the person who is having a negative opinion of the game know absolutely zero about the game itself, didn't watch any videos, didn't watch any let's plays, didn't even see plot point spoiler videos or anything like that, then maybe you can use that argument. But come on. You mean to tell me that someone who suffered through and took the due diligence to play through an entire game, to form an informed opinion of said game, is quote-unquote grifting because he has a negative opinion of that game? Make that make sense, David. Make that make sense. So, according to a lot of bakjo right now, grifting just means someone who has a negative opinion of something they like. That is grifting to them. It doesn't matter if it's just some random account posting their opinions on Twitter. It doesn't matter if it's a person who's just posting a video on YouTube asking for no money in return. As long as something they like is being criticized by them, that is grifting to them. What next? You are a fascist for saying you disagree with them? And you can make that argument about grifting too if you can prove the person making a negative opinion about a specific game or content. Don't believe what they say. Do not believe what they say. Then you can make the argument also that that is grifting. But you can't prove that, can you? Unless you somehow find some under the table, behind closed doors secret recording proving that they don't believe what they say, which is nonsense. You can never find that. How are you going to... You make an accusation of grifting. How are you going to prove that? And that goes to my point. That goes to his point about David Jeff again. He has specifically targeted a YouTuber by name. Called her out by name. And that specific person he called out was Varadak. A very reasonably well-known YouTuber who talks about gaming and anime mixed topics on a cultural note. But I'll tell you all the gist of his video on Varadak. So the title of this video, Are They Smart Enough for YouTube? But let's face it, he's not talking about they, he's talking about Vara. He is specifically calling her out. And I've watched his video. Spent a couple of minutes to watch his video. And his entire argument, I probably made a tweet about it as well. This entire argument is... yes. All it really boils down to is insulting Vara. Firstly saying, and I quote, she is not educated or bright enough to talk to him. Direct quote from him. He also calls her a mental lightweight. Interesting choice of words. And lastly, for someone who claims to be so progressive and so open-minded and so against bigotry, his next words were very interesting. Very, very interesting. I probably should show you all the video, maybe. I don't mind giving him one view. Just one view.
I said Alyssa Mercante making jokes about the Trump attempted assassination wasn't funny. The same exact thing now.
Is that my definition of a grifter? Where are you getting that, Vera Dark, from? Again, Vera, I'm going to give you a little bit of an education here. Jeffy's definition of a grifter is literally sitting online talking about games. You don't believe me? Not a problem. Vera Dark here for you with all the facts. Here's where he defined grifter 2 years ago. What's that you say? Grifter? Grifters. You don't believe me? Not a problem.
Thing now.
Is that my definition?
Grifters he's calling out, even though his definition of a grifter is somebody sitting online
off of horse shit. Who's got the most horse shit? I mean, you're not educated enough. You're not bright enough.
Ah, boy. Yes, I found it. Don't take my word for it. Listen to it from him directly, okay? Let's play this few second snippet of what he says. To Vera Dark, a woman. It'll be very interesting because he claims to be against bigotry. He claims to be open-minded and all that things, okay? Listen to what he says. He is so progressive.
I mean, you're not educated enough. You're not bright enough, Vera, to talk to me or to talk about what I talk about. You're just not.
He also said, oh, he's older than me, so he knows more about politics than I do, and that I should, quote, go fuck myself. So I'm one of the grifters he's calling out, even though his definition of a grifter is somebody sitting online, making videos, talking about a game, when he's literally doing the same exact thing. Now,
is that my definition of a grifter? Where are you getting that, Vera Dark, from? Again, Vera, I'm going to give you a little bit of an education here. I've never defined grifter as that. A grifter is somebody who makes money off people by lying to them. That's what they do. A grifter is not someone who sits in front of a camera and talks about video.
Again, interesting point you made about that, David. How do you prove they're lying? How do you know they're lying? Huh? How do you know they're lying? How can you prove they're lying when you hear what they say, when they make statements of fact, and you can see the fact happening in real time in front of your eyes? How do you prove then that they're lying? Let's keep going.
About video games, very dark. You just don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do this. You are in that chair, Vera, because of your...
Okay, here is the punchline. Listen to what David says carefully. Very, very carefully. Please, listen to every syllable. Okay? Get ready.
Because of your hair, Vera, because of your hair and your face and your gender. And that's fine, by the way. There's no problem with that. In that chair, Vera, a grifter is not someone who sits in front of a camera and talks about video games, Vera Dark. You just don't know how to do this. You don't know how to do this. You are in that chair, Vera, because of your hair and your face and your gender. And that's fine, by the way. There's no problem with that. I don't deny anyone making money and building an audience off, the things that they've got. But let's be clear. So far, my encounters with you online, you are kind of you're a mental lightweight. And that's fine. People have all kinds of, what I'm bad at, Vera? I'm bad at...
I think all of you heard that, right? I think all of you heard that. The full thing. Mr. Progressive, hate bigotry, anti-bigot. When he sees a woman with an opinion he does not like, he immediately accuses her of being uneducated and saying the only reason people listen to her is because of her looks as a woman. Does that sound like the words from an anti-bigot? Does that sound like the words from someone who is progressive? Does that? Because to me, this sounds like the complete opposite. He sounds like the stereotype of an ultra-conservative misogynist. That's what he sounds like to me. And the funniest thing is, if anyone who is right-leaning were to have said those exact same words, you would know people like David would be jumping at the chance to call them sexist. You know he would have done that. Yet, again, the same word rings true. Do as I say, not as I do. It is fine if I do it because I am moral and good, so it doesn't matter if I do it. And evidently, most people think the same way I do. Look at the like and dislike ratio. Look at his original post on Twitter. He is not having a good time. And he should not be having a good time, honestly, in my opinion. Because he outed himself. You know, it's one thing if you are not pretending, you are unabashedly honest. It is one thing to be that. If you're honest with how bad you behave, it's preferable to when you pretend to be such a good person and you just act like this. You get outed acting like this. An honest nightmare is better than a beaut. Yeah, darkness. Pokemon. Two-faced. And of course, you know exactly why I brought up David Jeff. Right. It's pretty obvious. He triggered me. Playing the hero but acting like a villain. It always ends the same way. Just like with the Vtuber at the start. Just like with the Vtuber at the start. Anyway. Flynn Sanada, welcome to the stream. I was ranting just now. I couldn't pause myself, otherwise I'll break my train of thought. Welcome to the stream. There's only a bit more time left before the stream is finished, but glad you are here. Oh, Lurker-chan. A lot of people recognize a dirty trick for what it is. No amount of lying and pretending it isn't the case is going to convince people otherwise. Oh yeah, it is a related topic I want to make. It is a related topic. It is adjacent to David Jeff's hot take. It's adjacent to David Jeff's hot take. And it is a tweet. It is a tweet I saw not too long ago. It's a tweet I saw yesterday, I think, or day before yesterday. And I'm going to look for it. And he talks about something that is increasingly pervasive. And I find it baffling and confusing how pervasive it is. This type of opinion. Hold on. Found it? I think I found it. This one. You all have probably seen this tweet. It has... Now, let's not beat around the bush. Botted likes. And what he's saying is this. Game devs need to cloud gamers more often. This needs to be popular practice. Gamers cry way too much and feel too entitled. Okay. You all saw that, right? I've got a counter argument. I've got a bit of a counter argument. This is not just towards OP directly, but towards any business who thinks that way. Any business at all, whether it is game developers or a cafe selling coffee, a restaurant, it doesn't matter. Any business whatsoever. I want to ask you one question, okay? Who keeps the light on? Who pays you? Who feeds your family? Huh? Who gives you money at the end of the day? Do you give money to yourself at the end of the day? For argument's sake, Lurker-chan, let's talk about that later, okay? But at the end of the day, whether you are a restaurant, a cafe, a game developer, anything, who pays you? Who decides whether you give your employees a bonus for Christmas, and who decides whether you go bankrupt in a month or two? Huh? The customers do. The consumers do. The gamers do. So, let me ask you this question. Gamers or customers, they work, they earn their money, and they decide to spend the money they have gotten from their work to buy your game. Don't you think that the very action of giving money to you entitles them to have an opinion on the product they bought? This is one thing that a lot of game developers, well, game journalists actually, game journalists and some game developers, they always seem to ignore. They always seem to conveniently, completely ignore. It's all fine and well to say gamers are entitled. And you know what? They are entitled. But they are entitled because they bought your game. Gamers are entitled, and they are right to be entitled. Because without customers, you are nothing. Okay? This goes the same way with any business. You offend a customer, they won't ever give you money ever again. If you offend a customer with a following, if you offend a customer who just so happens to have just so happens to be an influencer, let's say, you offend a customer whom others look up to, that's gonna snowball, doesn't it? Because that high-profile customer is gonna tell everyone they know and everyone who listens to them how much you messed up. And when they tell others how much you messed up, they're not gonna come and give you money after that, will they? They won't even bother. Same thing goes to YouTubers who are gamers. The Angry Joes, the Smash JT, the Skill Ups. What do you think will happen if you attack them for merely having a negative opinion? What did you think will happen? You call them entitled. They gave you the money to buy the game and play it. And they're going to tell people whether your game is worth playing or not. You're stepping on landmines. They have no idea. So, answering this question, 8-bit close fist. Gamers feel entitled because they are entitled. They are entitled to give feedback to your game because they bought it. It's their money you are taking. It's their right to complain about the product they bought. You can cry about it all you want. You can get angry all you want. At the end of the day, you will suck it up because they pay you. Unfortunately for you. And just like you will be a customer for something else, you give your money to something else, whether it's a cafe or a business, you are within your right to complain to them. And it is their obligation to suck it up if your complaint to them is reasonable. You remember that. If you want money, you don't offend your customer. It's simple as that. And that's something a lot of game developers can't seem to understand. Space Marine 231, welcome to the stream. You came a bit late, but you made it all the same. Let me see what else I have to talk about. Yeah, that was my biggest gripe for the day. It's one of my biggest gripes, but it's also one of the biggest contradicting behaviors I've seen in recent memory. And a lot of game journals really, they use this as if it's an insult. They use this as if it's like some kind of a gotcha or a call out. No duh. Customers are entitled. Because by their very nature as customers, it gives them the entitlement. Okay? It's an unavoidable fact. If you really want to alienate a specific customer, make sure you don't regret it. And make sure it won't come and bite you in the rear in the future. Because sometimes it will. If you can help it, be fair to a customer. Just like how I think customers should be fair also to specific businesses and don't act out of line. But let's face it here, a lot of gamers, especially Obsidian fans, they are more than fair to Obsidian. They are more than fair. A lot of them are fans. Anyway, that's my rant on that topic. Over. Let's read chat. Let's read the chat. Jay Hanks. I'll get Space Marine 2 when it's cheaper, okay? Still quite pricey. Still quite pricey. I'll see one day. Outer Worlds was a little underwhelming looking, actually. Not gonna lie. Yes, Space Marine 231, the former co-founder. I talked about it a while ago. Because, according to him, she is aware that Obsidian has been undertaking discriminatory practices in their hiring. Already a Space Marine 1. Death Road to Canada. That sounds like an interesting game. Peter, game developers know what the gamers want. The leaders of the studios are forcing them to do bad things. True. True. As you can see from... I show you a snippet of the Smash JT video. It is very, very obvious that the frontline developers who do most of the work, they know exactly what they have to do. The problem has always been upper management. It's always the upper management that cause problems for the people in the middle and below. And it's really quite sickening. Oh yeah, I want to add on a bit, okay? I want to add on a bit to a little bit of a personal experience I've had with a food and beverage establishment. Let's just leave it at that. It's just adding on to the whole quote-unquote entitled customer rant thing I had, okay? You wanna hear about it? You wanna hear about it? Yeah, I'm going to talk about it, okay? So, I was visiting a cafe with family some time back, and I have a reasonably big family, all things considered, and that cafe I went to had a very, in my opinion, harsh, but in certain circumstances, a fair policy. Okay? I will be fair and say that in certain circumstances, this cafe can rightfully make this specific policy happen. So the entire policy is that if, let's say, 8 people go into the cafe, every one of them has to order something if they want to sit there. Okay? That's the policy in some cases. It is a very fair policy in like countries where there's very little space. So like Hong Kong, like Taiwan, the small places with very little room. So yeah, stores are cramped. If you enter a restaurant or something, you don't order something, there's really no point for you to be there. So you go there, expect to order something. That's fair. But what made my situation a little bit unique is that the place I was in didn't have a room problem. It didn't have a space problem. Okay? The place I was at didn't have a space problem at all. The country did not have a space problem. That region didn't have a space problem. And to top it all off, that food and beverage establishment was empty. No one at all. It was like 1 or 2, but it was a very roomy place. There was chairs and empty seats everywhere. So me and my family turned up to this establishment. Some of us ordered something, some of us didn't want to because we ate something already beforehand. And just sat down for the sake of it. Just sat down. So, the manager of that food and beverage establishment started throwing a fit. A very big fit. So, it basically saying, going all, well, stop policy this, stop policy that. You have to, every single one of you have to order something to sit here, otherwise get out. Friend, your cafe is empty. There is no one coming to your cafe anytime soon. And you have how many seats in your cafe? 32? I was like, okay, 7 and 8 of us, 32 empty seats. Come on, be a little fair. And you know what? It's fine. Okay? Fine. So we ordered some stuff. Couple of drinks, a bit of food, all that thing. We were about to order it. And this manager was particularly rude. Okay? There are some people I care for. And the manager just pointed their fingers at each and every one of them, saying, why is he here? Why is she there? They didn't order anything. They should get out. That put me off quite a bit. That put me off a lot. I was already halfway done with that already. But I was like, okay, fine. The people I cared for, they were like, okay, fine. We'll just go out and we'll wait outside. Okay, we'll wait outside. So what? We finished our ordering. And obviously I was not particularly happy about it. So I took a seat and I slammed my hand on the table because I was not particularly happy about it. And he was very rude, very, very rude to my family members. So, not happy at all. And you know what exactly happened after I slammed the table? That manager went into a fit of rage. He said, get out. Oh, get out. All because I slammed the table once. Just once. I slammed the table once. He told me to get out. He told all of us to get out. And you know what? He cancelled our order. He completely cancelled our order and gave us back our money. To be fair, yeah, gave us back our money, but he cancelled our order. So what? So you know what? Since we aren't welcome at that place anymore, I was like, I say it to his face, you are a terrible manager. I said it to his face. And guess what he said to me back? Guess what he said to me right back at me? Guess what he said? After I said, you are a terrible manager. Guess. Nope. Mo-chan. He did not say that. If only he did, I'd at least respect his honesty. If only he did. He did. Okay, fine. I'll just answer it. He did a reverse Keanu Reeves. He did a Keanu Reeves moment, as they say. Enough of a hint. So I say, you are a terrible manager. And he just say, you are terrible. Very, very mature. He's lucky. He is lucky. He is lucky I won't name names of my real life experiences. He is lucky. Because if I could, I would so name the name of that specific food and beverage establishment. But I won't. Lucky him. No flexibility. This is why I say it. This is why I say businesses, you have to understand who pays your bills at the end of the day. The food there wasn't cheap. Oh no, the food and the drinks there were not cheap at all. And we ordered quite a bit considering. Quite a bit. And he just threw it all away all because I slammed the table a little too hard for him. What an upstanding establishment. Certainly has the best interests of customers in mind, I'm sure. No, that has been gripping my mind a bit. I always felt salty about that specific incident. At least I get to talk about it now. Exactly right, Mo-chan. We ordered a lot of drinks and a lot of food, but he was bitching about not every single one of us ordered something. And reminder, this is a place that customarily does not really have a space issue, and there were no other customers except us. What do you have to lose, you dumb idiot? What kind of a manager are you? Well, either way, I'm glad your lurkers hang around to listen to me rant about this specific incident. Well, it's not really shady business manager, Mo-chan. It's more like a manager who doesn't know how to be a manager. He doesn't know how to run a business. He doesn't know PR. He does not know how to... Incompetent, exactly. He is incompetent. He has an ego. And he has thin skin. He probably is an apple high for all I know. I wouldn't know. Either he's an apple higher or he's the boss. Either way, doesn't look good on him. Complain about not enough orders, refuse to fill orders placed, exactly. I'd bet if all of you ordered, she would still moan about you being cheap, probably. And it is very shameful behavior, actually. It was quite a snazzy place, quite a swanky place, all things considered. And it's not like one of those like in the markets and all those where everyone is loud and everything is crowded. No, it's literally like snazzy, swanky place. Good furniture, good decor and all that things. And to think a manager decides to treat customers that way. There is a Cantonese word for this. Gai gao. Very calculative. Everything has to be perfectly calculated by the book. There is no room for a bit of humanity. There's no room for just a bit of politeness and fairness. Penny pincher, penny wise pound foolish. You would rather alienate an entire group of customers who bought multiple items if not all of the customers bought something. And Arden Top 132, that's the thing though. I don't even think it is a particularly big business. It's it's probably not a big corpo. It's like kinda smallish business, which makes it even more ironic that the manager that does something like this. You know what? You're probably right, Sneeze. He probably does think customers as noisy paychecks. Very good way to describe it. Oh, one last thing to cover. One last thing. One last thing to cover. You saw Kai Cenat and Iron Mouse having a very cute collab between each other. You all saw that? Well, long story short, I still have it on.
You inspired me to do this thing that I'm doing for raising the whole month, for raising a lot of money for a good cause. You feel what I'm saying? And I am now building my school in Nigeria, and I watched partial of your subathon, and it was great. Now I know to a lot of people, I know a lot of things, a lot of Twitter people just downplaying what you do, and I want to say, like, even though it's not like the usual thing that they normally do, I want to go ahead and give you a flower because you are trying something. It's something new. You feel what I'm saying? It's something very new and fresh to the world, and people don't understand it, but they should never discredit a lot of things that you've done. You feel what I'm saying? And what you did, and it may be people may find it weird, but it's cool. You feel what I'm saying? I want to go ahead and give you your flowers right here, right now, and stand up. I know y'all have a huge community, by the way. I surf Twitch, and there's
You heard him right. You heard Kai Cenat. I say with no pretense. Kai Cenat was very real for saying this. A very good spot. He does not know much about VTubing, and despite all of that, he approaches it with a very open mind and very fairly. He acknowledges Iron Mouse for what she has done, which is a big achievement. He respects it because she did good. It is a shame that someone who is unironically so positive only has good things to say, and some of his fans choose to behave in the way that they do for the past months. It is very disappointing. And honestly, even if after this stream between Kai Cenat and Iron Mouse, so-called fans of him still do what they do to Iron Mouse, it's on them personally. They have a problem. Kai congratulated Iron Mouse. He respects Iron Mouse. She said on stream live to public that he acknowledges her for the things she has done. Not just as a VTuber, but as a streamer. And if these so-called fans of him still behave that way, they are not his fans, in my opinion. They are just people using Kai as an excuse to harass Iron Mouse. That's all there is to him. And again, as you say, some of you say it will be a good filter for future fans of Kai. Kai made his point very clear. Iron Mouse is worth respect, and people who start nonsense with her are not good people. He made it very clear. But it's quite sweet. It's quite sweet actually that Iron Mouse got Kai a VTuber avatar just for him to play around with. And doubly wholesome that Kai just accepted it and just used it on stream. If only there was more incidents like this, there's a proper bridging of the gap between like VTubers and regular in front of camera content creators. Because there's still, like I said, that rant I made about Tim Pool not too long ago, where he refused to let Kershaw onto his stream because he said, I'm not going to invite some VTuber. At least the light at the end of the tunnel per se is that a very big streamer like Kai and a very big VTuber like Iron Mouse, they're kind of like ambassadors for a proper bridge between and understanding that at the end of the day everyone is just a content creator, and if they do right by others and do right by themselves, everyone is worth respect and worth being treated with respect. That's the biggest story. Well, Lurker-chan, I find it a little ironic actually, because considering, as far as I know, Kershaw was the one who put in almost all the work to info dump on Bridge, and most of the political pundits on YouTube are basically piggybacking on Kershaw. There's only so much excuses they can make before it is completely not right for them to withhold credit. Lotus Eaters gave Kershaw credit. Good. Yes, I remember that. And they should. Because she was the one who put most of the work on it. And at the end of the day, this is my opinion, Twisted Jack. At the end of the day, I think Tim might be a little jealous. Let's not pretend he wasn't. Because of Picora, because of Gura, because of Marine, Tim does not get to be the top super chatted channel on YouTube. He probably feels self-conscious and insecure about that to an extent, and that's probably fueling why he refuses to let VTubers on, and also why he made that outburst last year about calling all VTubers fat guys behind an anime avatar. He sounded like a straight up boomer when he said that. He's fallen somewhat, roly-poly. To be fair to Tim, when he makes reporting, and some baseline punditry and commentary on news, I still hold some weight towards what he says. I won't take much of his opinion on certain cultural things, but when it comes to commentary on news, for most parts he still kind of makes it for me. And Adam's story, and I'm aware of Adam's story, it still baffles me what's the backstory behind all of that. It seems actual Justice Warrior has some information about it, but I don't know, it's very complicated it seems. The story between Adam and Tim. I mean, if Joe ever invites a VTuber, realistically I would think he would like invite the biggest ones, I guess. It would be nice if he invited Kirsha, but I don't think Joe notices Kirsha. I mean, we all know her, but in terms of like pure size, Kirsha is still like kinda give or take within our range, like somewhat notable but not very notable in a way. Maybe one day. And yeah, Joe Rogan likes an in-person studio kind of thing. I don't know how appealing it would be for him to just take a VTuber and interview them. As far as I know, he probably still is, actually. He probably still is, but I don't really know. It's been quite a while, quite a long time since then. Well, anyway, I think that's the end of the topic. I think eventually VTubers will be a little more palatable to normies one day. And there's a whole can of worms. It's a whole new double-edged sword if VTubing actually enters normie territory. It's a whole double-edged sword. Let's just hope. To be honest, I am more partial towards VTubing remaining a somewhat niche type of endeavor, but who knows? This whole Kai Cenat and Iron Mouse thing, on one hand is wholesome and respectable, on the other hand, what does it bode for the future of VTubing? I do not know. It kinda have started already, Arden Top. The VTuber arc. Yes, I am aware of that much, and I am aware of that. Okay. Okay. I think I have done. I finished the stream for tonight, actually. I think I'm done for the stream tonight. It has been a yap stream, but I enjoyed the yapping with your lurkers. And not sure when I'll do a gaming stream, actually. But I was glad that I managed to make some time to stream today. And as you all probably already have guessed, just because 2 weeks ago it was my last scheduled stream, it does not mean it was like the absolute last for the year. I will keep you all updated if I manage to get some time for another stream for 2024. I will keep you updated on Twitter and on Facebook. Okay? Anyway, I appreciate you all dropping by to watch my stream. And I will look forward to the next time I can organize another stream before 2025 rolls in. Oh boy, 2025 is going to be a very busy year, I can expect. Anyway, Americans, and everyone, Americans have a good Thanksgiving. And the rest of you have a great December holidays and Christmas. And if I manage to make another stream date, I will let you all know. If it is a Game Awards, if it's around the Game Awards period, who knows, maybe we can make a watch party, but I'm not sure the dates yet. Okay? I can't be sure of the dates until I actually plan it out. So with that out of the way, for those of you who are at night, sleep well.
You will have nothing and you will like it.
Zero, thank you for the super chat. Again, I will try to get Google AdSense to work. But if you all in the meantime want to be sure that your tokens and tips make it to me, use the Streamlabs link right here, just right here. And only do it if you're comfortable with doing it. Remember that. That is the most important. Okay? Anyway, for those of you in the morning, have a great rest of the day. For those of you at night, good night and sleep tight. And as for me, I think I'll be signing out. Okay? Thank you for joining tonight's stream, Lurkers. It has been fun. And it has been a good venting experience for me. Good night and sleep tight, everyone. I will talk to you all on Facebook and Twitter soonish. Okay? See you.